Here you have the finished product of my prototype. Don't worry about all these. These are just for testing purposes, and so I can get good readings for hot and cold side pressure and temp on each one. Fast operating temperature sensors, so I could get some real-time data. But I think it fits pretty good. It looks good in there. Everything's a super tight fit. So I don't know if you can see how tight it is down there. Nothing rubs. It is very tight to install. I will tell you, there's, like a half an inch or maybe an inch in between the pipes. So you do have to angle it back to squeeze on the couplers. Install that first, of course. And this is just a 3D printed duct at ABS. The final product will be carbon fiber to match the intake. Should look real nice, but this is just for testing in case I got to make any changes. I'll get some data as we come in. This I am gonna redesign a little bit. I don't like how it's touching here. The rest is all right, so I'm gonna figure out a different solution. It fits pretty good. I'm just trying to get something that looks aesthetically pleasing as well as functional. I didn't want to use the factory one because it would have ended up bolting up right about here, and it just, if I'm doing the whole thing, I'd rather make it look nice and tasteful. AST mounts great, not touching anything. You can also delete the AST and just not even worry about that, which many people do. That would be no big deal. Space between the battery, just like factory. You can see this is a relay I have for the actual fan. I mounted it right there. Still have the battery box on it. No cool air going into the box anymore like factory, but most people don't even have that cover or this cover. So nothing to worry about there. Maybe in the future, if I'm really anal about it, I can come up with some kind of cooling solution, draw some fresh air, but like I said, 90% of people don't even use that aspect. But here it is. Let me know what you guys think. I honestly think if I did this in some kind of flat black or even slightly textured to match something like this would look and possibly pass almost for factory. I don't know how strict they are in California or those states for inspection, but I think this might be a good solution for a somebody who has to do a visual inspection for emissions, because people may not even realize it's an upgrade if it's a black color. So again, I'm pretty happy with it. Time to do plenty of road testing. Let me know what you think. I'm going to put out some numbers. I can tell you just with my initial drive, I'm pretty pleased just with what I'm seeing. But there's going to be a lot of data coming out of this. A lot of conditions with or without the fan. How the cooling fans from the radiator affect it, which I can tell you those affect the stock mount intercooler tremendously. It's just a hot air from the radiator blowing right on that, heating this up. So that's going to come up as a topic of discussion, but so far I'm pretty pleased with it. I'll show you how well the fan works here in a minute. It draws plenty of fresh air from the front, so let's get to that. No fan. Intercooler fan cools quite a bit of air. So if I let it, probably suck it up in the intake there. So here's to show you how my setup finished up. I got my custom coil inflow brackets in there, along with my condenser support spacers. Got a nice gap, just like factory. The new duct comes down and dips lower than the factory one. The factory one only comes up to the radiator, so this comes down and pulls in a little bit more air while you're driving. All right, here's what I got going on as far as the readings go. 2 pressure sensors here, 2 temperature sensors. You got one for the hot side, one for the cold side of each. It's a little messy because I need this easily removable, because once I'm done testing on this, I'm going to test on the factory stock mount for comparison. So this isn't going to stay on. This is just for data purposes. The gauge cluster itself that I made is fugly. Big, but it's functional. So there you got your inlet and outlet boost. This is an intercooler gauge, so it's going to have the inlet and outlet temperatures. So I got to go to the store and get some removable double-sided tape so I can tape that to the dash without really sticking on there. The only double-sided tape I have is the permanent stuff right now, and I don't want to stick that to my dash. So got this installed, but time to take the first test drive.
Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah.